my opinion, who's going to have a breakout year for the Syracuse football team. I'll start with the defensive tackles. I think Kuhn Cuff and Tank are going to have breakout years, and freshmen who are participating on the defensive line, I think will have a breakout year is Perry. And I keep seeing footage of the Jersey guy, 58. He looks pretty strong at defensive tackle, but we don't know where he stands on the depth chart because he didn't play in the spring game. And there's not much notes on him through the spring practice. But, excuse me, for the upcoming practices during the summer sessions, we don't know where he stands on the depth chart, but through some of the things I've seen, he's looking pretty good and he's looking notable at the position and look like he can make an impact, just like the freshman Perry who played in the spring game, who looked pretty good, but just has to get a better grasp on the position. And sometimes he break through and he doesn't know where he's at. Once he understands how to stand linemen up and shed the blocker, he'll be a better defensive tackle. But youth is keeping him back. But I still think he'll touch the field and have a outstanding season this year. And other positions that I think will have breakout years is wide receiver. Incoming wide receiver is Justice Ross Simmons. I think he's going to have a breakout year. Don't have to mention Z Haynes because he's already up putting up numbers in practice, and we saw what he did in the spring game. And his speed seems to be unmatched, so guys are going to have problems in the secondary. And also the tight ends. Kimball, he won't get much playing time this year, but I think he'll have a breakout year for a freshman because he's one of those guys that you probably can't keep off the field, even though you have two other guys ahead of him. But there is space and room for him to be a added addition to a breakout season this year. That's freshman Trimble. And you have other wide receivers that are stepping up their game, Justice Ross Simmons and Jalen Hornsby. And Hale is definitely making a name for herself on the Syracuse Hill at wide receiver. Then they have other guys, too, who are being molded because of their youth to be decent players, like the guy from Rochester. I can't think of his name. His name always slips me. Seeing him make pretty good catches and some other young guys running crispy routes like Daryl Gill, who looks a lot better from last year under the tutelage and the technique coaching that is being done at Syracuse University to hone in on each player's skill. And at wide receiver, you're seeing it from route running and just the mechanics of the receivers in just a short amount of time. So the Syracuse staff is definitely on the upside and how they're bringing up the players, the freshmen also. And can't forget the linebacker position for team Diggs and other guy Brown are looking pretty good. But Wembley, I think, is going to crack the lineup. And I don't understand why Sparrow is not a first-string guy. McDonald is nice, but Sparrow, when he touches you, you go straight down. McDonald is known for guys breaking his tackle, so I don't know if it's a strength thing or just his technique in tackling. But from what I see, those guys aren't far apart. But Sparrow just makes an impact on the game as soon as he enters it. So I don't see why he's starting, but he definitely is going to be a second-string player. But for Team Diggs and the Brown guy are expected to develop, but they probably won't play this year, so they won't get any breakout stats or film because they're not going to play a lot because they have four guys ahead of them and possibly five, the transfer Hurd from West Virginia, who's showing a upside in his skill, and he's still useful. So he has plenty of years to develop in the system, in this new system. So looking forward to seeing that. And the cornerback, the new addition, Lewis from Notre Dame, is definitely turning heads. A lockdown corner. I've seen him lock down a couple of guys. And Barnes is definitely coming along. And Devin Grant. But one thing about Devin Grant, he's a good player, but he's gotten beside himself. Instead of playing the position naturally, he's trying to overthink things and not playing off instinct, trying to script the game, which can't be done in football. So there you see his losses. Definitely when he checked Zeke Haynes, he's trying to be an outstanding cornerback, but he's setting himself up instead of playing the position naturally and respecting receivers. You don't have to be arrogant and use the Dion clamp down press coverage. You can take a couple of yards off so you can stand your ground, but that's gonna come through coaching, and that will be broken down. I heard Fran Brown mention something surrounding Devin Grant, but he didn't go into the arrogance thing. I'm saying that because I'm not a coach, and that's what hold players back. They're undisciplined play tactics, and that's coming from trying to script football, which you can't do. You can't make a play. Plays just happen, and you being in the right position. That's how it occurs. But there's no downside, only up. It's a learning curve, and then he's going through a youth stage and being matured at Syracuse because Syracuse is not Buffalo, and this group of coaches came from prestigious programs, so he's doing the learning now. He just have to embrace it and play more technique sound and let the plays develop. And you have Bellamy at cornerback. So it's going to be a four-man rotation. Barnes, Bellamy, and Grant are going to be the guys that are rotating. Then you have Delane who can back those guys up. But right now he's not in the too deep rotation because you have the guys that I named who taking spots. Now we're moving to the offensive side on the offensive line. Savion Watson and Big Spoon have definitely made names for themselves, and I think they've secured the position. But like Fran Brown said, they are going to be using backups too. They don't want to burn the players out, which is a good thing. If you recruited them and you developed them, they should be able to play. So coaches who don't use their guys don't have confidence in their coaching skills, because if you teach a man where to be and how to play the position, he definitely should be good, even if he lacks talent. So I'm likening what Fran Brown is ushering into the Syracuse football team and his coach's tactics. You can yell and scream, but you have to have ways to uplift your players so they don't fall out of love for your coaching style. So kudos to Fran Brown, and can't wait to the upcoming season, and I will have more for you in the new future. Let's go on.